Hey, everyone, welcome back to Crazy Chronicles, where we tell some of the craziest and most outlandish stories on the internet. Woman, what is the worst thing you did to please your ex, and how did you recover from it? My ex-boyfriend used to get hard whenever I ate. Every time we hung out, he'd either bring a pile of snacks or suggest we go out to get food. At first, I didn't think much of it. I thought he was just being sweet, bringing me snacks all the time, but it started getting weird when he'd pressure me to eat even when I wasn't hungry. Whenever I called him out on it, he'd say that I barely ate and that he was concerned for my health. He made it sound like I was the one who had a problem, as if I wasn't taking care of myself. I didn't want to let it bother me since eating with my boyfriend felt normal, but I found it weird he always wanted to after I ate. I liked sleeping with him, but the way he would grip my skin and spread his seat on me right after made me uncomfortable. I always found myself ranting to my roommate right after because none of my ex-boyfriends did that. She would tell me that it definitely was weird that he did that after eating, but she had no idea what it meant either. I tried to let it go, but after a couple of months, I realized I couldn't forget about it. Because when we went out to eat one day, I couldn't fit into the booth and I had to shift uncomfortably just to sit down. It had been years of this up to this point. But like always, my boyfriend looked unfazed and told me to eat. It made me wonder if it was all in my head. I made sure to look in the mirror later that night to check if I was bigger, but I looked slim. This will be important later. I figured I was being delusional, especially since no one was calling me out on any weight gain, and it helped that my boyfriend kept telling me that I was beautiful and that my body had never looked better. I thought he was hyping me up and his compliments always made me feel confident, but they also stopped me from noticing what was going on with my body. Because out of nowhere, my clothes started fitting tighter and I was out of breath just walking to class. After that, I started getting weird looks from people and getting laughed at. When I heard a random teenager tell me that I needed Ozempic for breakfast, it just clicked in my brain. I rushed to my dorm after class and instead of looking at the mirror this time, I took off my shirt and looked down. That's when I saw my pudgy belly and thighs rubbing against each other. I felt like an idiot for thinking the weight gain wasn't happening. I knew it was because I was eating a lot more than usual, and the only person overfeeding me was my boyfriend. I was thinking of calling him, but then he barged in with 2 McDonald's bags saying that he got me all my favorite meals, but then he saw me without my shirt on and called me hot. I told him that I had gained weight and this wasn't my body, that I looked completely different than I did in all the mirrors in the house. I literally couldn't recognize it. He just had this stupid grin on his face as if I was saying some BS. I said that I had only gained weight because he kept feeding me, and my world shattered when he said, "I know. I changed all the mirrors in the house so that they would make you feel skinnier." I immediately asked him what that meant. He said that he liked watching me gain weight because it turned him on, and so he didn't want me to ever stop. It shocked me that he didn't even try to deny it, but he shocked me more when he admitted his KNK for fighterism. He grinned as he said he enjoyed sleeping with me more after I gained weight. When he grinned, I just wanted to scream. How could he be so proud of that? I accused him of using me to fulfill his disgusting fantasy and that he never cared about my health. He told me to calm down because I was too skinny before, but now I was perfect. I couldn't believe he had the nerve to say I was perfect when I was having an identity crisis. When I told him that I couldn't even fit into my clothes, he smirked seductively and said I was getting him hard. I couldn't even look at him and told him to get out of my dorm. I made sure to dump him as I slammed the door in his face. He just yelled that I should be grateful. He overfed me because I looked so much hotter to him, that he made me into the girl of his dreams so we could be together forever. I couldn't believe I'd been so blind. I just kept thinking about all the times I could have said no, all the times I should have listened to my own body instead of him. I cried for so long my eyes were puffy by the time my roommate showed up at the dorm. She immediately asked what was wrong when she saw me. When I explained everything to her, she made me feel stupid by saying that she thought I had noticed the weight gain and that she didn't tell me because you aren't supposed to point things out that you can't fix in 30 seconds. I was so pissed. I told her I was going to starve myself to get skinny quicker and destroy his fantasy. My roommate said that I couldn't starve myself because that was just as unhealthy as eating a lot, but she agreed that we should definitely destroy his fantasy and that I should lose the weight. She suggested that first I break up with my boyfriend because I needed space, then she would help me lose weight in a healthy manner, and we could prank my ex by trying to get back with by sending him AI photos of a bigger version of me. What I didn't know was that I would get an even better revenge. This plan intrigued me, so I kept listening. My roommate said I shouldn't punish myself for what he did, but that he should see firsthand his creation die in front of him. It made me realize she was right, so I asked how I was supposed to lose weight healthily. She told me that to avoid the freshman 15, she worked out 5 times a week and took Avielite to curb her appetite. She told me she understood how I felt about gaining weight. She knew people treat skinny people better, and she struggled with her own body image, but now she was comfortable with her body. She was only able to have that feeling by working out and taking Avielite consistently. That night, I bought the pills and decided to accompany my friend to the gym. I was determined to go back to my old self and rub it in the face of my disgusting ex, but I didn't realize how hard working out would be. I couldn't even do push-ups, and I never had the energy to work out longer than 2 minutes. I complained to my friend about how hard losing weight was, and she told me to hold out until the pills arrived. She said they made working out easier for her because they gave her an energy boost in the morning, so they should do the same for me. When the pills did arrive, I realized my friend was right. I got an energy boost that helped me work out for 15 minutes before I got tired. It wasn't much, but after having a depressing couple of months, I needed the win. Somehow, I dropped 3 pounds in 1 week. As my body adjusted to Avielite, I dropped 5 pounds the next week. I was shocked but also excited. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was in control of my body again. My friend encouraged me all throughout, and it made me happy that she cared so much about me. She was honestly my rock, and I couldn't thank her enough. Working out and taking Avielite even became a shared hobby for us. And as I became more fit, I started to forget the reason I even began this journey. I didn't care about pranking my ex. With every pound that I shed, I was feeling better than my old self again. I was slimming down while my best friend was keeping her body toned, all because I finally had complete control of my body and what I ate. Albi made it possible for me to break the habit my ex-boyfriend had created for me, and I wasn't going to let anyone change me for their own enjoyment ever again. I had shed over 80 pounds in 8 months. I was genuinely in the best shape of my life, and I couldn't stop staring at my body. I hadn't even talked to my ex since the breakup. Then out of nowhere, I actually bumped into him at the supermarket. And when he saw me, he dropped to his knees. He started bawling his eyes saying why would I destroy the perfection he had created. It got so bad he ended up peeing his pants, and I genuinely didn't even know what to say.